Yes, we're live. We're live. Hello, everybody. This is your Formula One 2025 Las Vegas Grand Prix preview. I love doing the preview shows. This is where we get into it. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Vegas Grand Prix, the circuit. We're going to talk about our top 5 predictions. We're going to talk about who we think is going to be driver of the weekend. We're going to talk about who we think is going to be the dipstick of the weekend. Make sure you have your oh my gosh, make sure you have your predictions ready for the chat. I've also got a poll running, which is all about the special liveries, which are coming to Vegas, and they are very Vegasy, let me tell you. Well, two of them are. Two of them aren't. I'm going to be showing you all of those as well. So we are going to get into it. Hey, I'm going to say like the chat. Hey, Gemma, Viva Las Vegas. Absolutely. George looks like a character from Harry Potter. I think he looks like maybe a James Bond, maybe. Kyle says George always looks like he's walked off the set of Downton Abbey. He does. He does. Hey, DT, good to have you in the chat. If you are watching, get in the chat. Tell me where you're watching from. Daily Focus, he's got news. I hope it's about the F1. I hope it's about the F1 Daily FX. Daily CFC. Right. So let me get in. Let me just do the little bit of housekeeping you have to do. If you are new to the channel and haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe to the channel. Put a like on the video if you're enjoying it. Smash the bell so you can keep up to date with all of our content. And there's something called Hype. If you fancy doing that, you can do that as well. Thank you so much to everyone who is supporting the channel. It means the world. Okay. So, yes, it's Las Vegas, baby. Viva Las Vegas. I love Las Vegas. You always put on a really great show. And I do love a street. Everybody knows I love a street circuit. I mean, even look at how they're promoting it. Look at this. Like, it's just pizzazz, showbiz, boom. Like, I love Vegas, baby. Like, you know, it's gonna be a good event. They always put on a smashing show in Vegas. And, you know, it's only obviously been running since 2023. But they put on a great show, and there's always a safety car, so there's always drama, and you can overtake in Vegas. You can overtake, which is great for Formula One, where you got circuits where people can actually race and overtake. So I'm here for it. So yeah, Vegas, it's all going to be the glitz and glamour, and you better be with me for the watch-alongs. 4 a.m. starts for me in the UK. Oh, you better join in. Okay, so let's look at the circuit first. This is a circuit in its basic form. Okay, now, as always, we like to start with a couple of little facts about Vegas. So, first Grand Prix in the modern era 2023. It's just over 6 kilometers in length. So, previous winners, George Russell won in 2024. He also got pole position in 2024. Max Verstappen won in 2023. Charles Leclerc put that car on pole. But then back in the 80s, there was 2 races here. In 1982, I don't remember this, I'm far too young. Michele Alboreto won in the Tyrrell. And 1981, Alan Jones won in a Williams. Current lap record is Lando Norris. And there's a very high probability of safety cars. And because there's only been a couple of races in the modern era, there isn't a lot that we can really talk about from the history of Vegas. But I can tell you, the track is built for nice overtaking, low downforce, which means, and here's the other, I'm going to give you a little hint now. The temperature is going to be quite cool. And we all know some cars work well in cool, dry temperatures, don't we? And if anyone can tell me which cars work in that very specific window of cool, dry temperatures, get in the chat and let me know. Because I know, and that might come into my predictions. So if you have just joined us, welcome to the stream. This is where we do all of our predictions. So I want to know your predictions, top 5. Who's going to have a mare over the weekend? Who's going to be the dipstick of the weekend? And who's going to be the driver of the weekend? Those are the predictions that I'm asking all of you to get involved with, and stick them in the chat. Well, I'm going to get to the chat. Daily Focus says, I joined Williams Student Champs. What the hell's that? I don't know what that is. What is that? Williams Student Championship. What are they doing? Is it something to do with... Are you going to be a Formula One driver, Daily Focus? Because if you are, I'm here for it. Get on the show. Let's get you live streaming. Let's talk F1. Yeah, so that's basically the little tiny bit of history that we got about Vegas. It's going to be a snazzy, pizzazzy Grand Prix. Expect to see every Hollywood A-lister you can imagine. I mean, and actually, Martin Brundle's grid walk is going to be something else. He's going to be wandering down doing his grid walk. And how many people will speak to him? Who knows, but I'm here for it. And it will spot the influencer. Spot the influencer. But what's coming to Vegas? Well, 4 teams are bringing special liveries to Las Vegas. And I'm going to show you those liveries in just a second. So we do have a poll running, and I want you to tell me which team has nailed it and who is bringing the best livery. So we're going to start off with Alpine. They're bringing a livery. Now, take a look at it. I had to look at this a few times, right, to go, how is it different? It's pink and blue. It's always pink and blue. It's the side pods. They've added some more pink to the side pods of that livery. Is it special? Is it special? It is new. It's special, but there you go. That's the Alpine livery, the special livery for Las Vegas. Let me know what you think. Could you even tell? Let's be honest. Could you even tell the difference from its standard livery? I'm here for it. Get in the chat and tell me what you think. Hey, Drip, nice to have you in there. I can see you there, Drip. Nice to have you in the chat. If you are watching, get in the chat. Tell me where you're watching from. So that's the Alpine livery. Okay. Next up, who else is bringing a special livery to Vegas? Well, we've got another one from Sauber. They're bringing a special livery as well. Is it again? Is it special? Can you tell the difference? It's meant to be an homage to like a checkered flag, so it's got little tiny white bits of flag on the black parts of their livery, and it's basically like a farewell, right? Because Sauber won't be Sauber next season, will it? It's going to be Audi. So this is more like a bye-bye Sauber, hello Audi sort of moment. So they brought their special livery with almost like little bits of checkered flag on it. I mean, it's quite snazzy. I think under the lights it'll look okay. It'll look okay. But I want to know which is your favourite. So you've seen Alpine. You've seen the Sauber. Now we're getting into the good stuff. Okay, because there's only 4 teams that are bringing a special livery. And now we're getting to the good stuff. Now, I've already seen a lot of you already saying the Racing Bulls livery. Now, why is this one cool? It's because this livery is holographic. So under the Vegas lights, it is going to be pretty freaking cool. And the idea is, because obviously the Racing Bulls is the V-carb, and it's to mirror their Visa are launching a new card, which has all got like holographic. So what this is going to be is they've got this holographic paint job, and it is going to be pretty cool. It is going to be pretty cool. Yeah, DT says couldn't quite tell. Nope. Drips in Kenya. Nice one, Drip. And then DT says it looks like a Sauber that someone's tagged graffiti on. It does, doesn't it? It's not that special. Like, I think if you come into Vegas, I mean, that's why the thumbnail's got George Russell in a tux. It's Vegas, baby. You got to go all out. You got to bring your A game with your livery. So yeah, the Sauber livery isn't that great, but I am all over it. I am keen on the Racing Bulls livery. I think it's very cool, and I think Kyle's right. The V-carb will blind the McLarens, but under the lights of Vegas, I think that's going to look very, very cool. And I'm going to tell you why I'm talking about these liveries in just a minute. We have got a story that goes into this. So that is the Racing Bulls livery. Have a good look at it because I want you all to take part in the poll. Now, we're coming to the 4th and final special livery, and this is coming from the Williams. Now, I think this livery is pretty awesome, but I am torn. Now, this livery, I hope the picture does it justice. This livery is very, very cool. You know how all the cars are like to have the exposed carbon? Well, this is actually like a satin black. It's all paint job. Satin black with a blue pinstripe. I especially like look at the Duracell battery with the air intake where they painted it gold. I think that is a very, very cool livery. And you've also got like the Spectrum colours. And I think when you're going 350 kilometers an hour, I think it is going to look freaking awesome. So for me, I think the Williams team have absolutely nailed it. But special mention for the V-carb, because the holographic livery, we might be surprised when we see it in the flesh, right? And we see it going down the Vegas strip with the lights on it. We might be surprised at how cool. But you can't see the details on this picture of the Williams. They've got like, it's almost like a spectrum color of like going down the side, and that like flex. It is gonna look freaking awesome. Freaking awesome under the lights. So if those are your 4 liveries to choose from. So make sure you get in the poll and click which one you like best. Nobody's voted for Sauber yet. Not one of you. Not one of you had. Yeah. But surprisingly, the Alpine's got a couple of votes in there. So Alpine 33%, Sauber's currently on 0%, Racing Bulls 33%, Williams 33%. So those are the liveries we're voting on. For me, I think the Williams gets it. I think the Williams gets it. So why are we talking about liveries? Not only have we got these cool liveries coming to Vegas, but I am just going to go to the chat before I get into it. Oh, so the Wooden's gone with Racing Bulls. He likes that. Kyle says, not a fan of the Williams. You two are in the same camp. DT says, well, those different little hints of colour, they should add the sparkles unicorn on it somewhere for Carlos. Unicorn power, baby. But it could be like, do you remember the Care Bears back in the 80s? Carl, DT Williams should put sparkles horn on the nose. Oh, brilliant. So right, why we're talking about liveries? It's because this week, and I'm here for it. The FIA are basically, because everyone's complaining about how boring the liveries are on the current cars because of the massive sections of exposed carbon fibre bodywork. Well, the F1 Commission have now said a minimum of 55% surface area when viewed from above or from the side must be covered by paint or stickered liveries, as opposed to bare carbon fibre surfaces. The objective of this measure is to increase visual differentiation between cars, because basically F1 liveries have been deemed by the powers that be to be dull over recent seasons. So, and obviously when we look back from the decades gone by, like the 80s and especially the 80s and 90s, solid colours, like big bold colours, McLaren red and white after the Marlboro colours, you know, it's solid paint basically. And they want that again. They want the bright colours back. So I don't know whether 50%'s enough though, or 55%'s enough, but that's what they've decided. 55% of the car, when looking at it above or from the side, must be covered with stickers or paint. In an attempt to, yeah, see, I agree, the Wooden. I don't think 55%'s enough either. The Wooden says it should be way higher than that, 75 to 80. I think you're right. I think if they're going to impose this rule to basically make the cars have cool paint jobs and cool liveries, well then, yeah, I agree. I don't think 55%'s enough either. I don't. I think they should have gone further. And I think they will go further, by the way. Because if it hasn't had the desired effect in 2026, I think they will. They might even say, they might even say 100. Why don't they say 100% of the car, apart from aero? Like, or like, well, I suppose if you had 80% of the car, you know. But yeah, I do think that they should have gone further. I actually do. But yeah, that's what they're saying, 55%. But what do you think about that? Are you as bored as I am of the exposed carbon on Formula One cars? I mean, because look at how and this is my point. We've just seen 4 new special liveries for Vegas. 2 of them pretty awful. 2 of them pretty cool, right? And look at the reaction we have when we see them. It's like, that is cool. Now, I think that's what we want. We want those cool liveries. We want all the cars to have a cool livery. So I'm here for it. I do think that it's an important thing for them to do. I do. And I'm here for it. But those liveries, don't forget, getting there. Racing Bulls is winning, by the way, at the moment. Racing Bulls is winning on the livery scale. Do you want to see him one more time for the people that have just joined us? This is what you're voting on. I'll whiz through them super quick. So you got the Alpine livery. There it is. Alpine livery. There's your Alpine. There's your Sauber. This is what the poll's about. Who's got the best livery? Special livery for Las Vegas. This is the Racing Bulls again. The holographic one. It's going to be very cool, that. There's no doubt that is going to be very, very cool. And my personal favourite, which is not winning the vote, is the Williams. I love that. It's the Duracell bit that on the air intake. I think it's freaking brilliant. So yeah, those are your liveries that you're choosing from. Get in the poll and tell me who's got the coolest special livery for Vegas. I know Kyle says, I don't care about the colours or sponsors. I'd worry more about the quality of the race. Yeah, I agree with that. But I think when it comes to 2026, you know, we talk about the new regulations a lot, where we're hoping it's going to achieve better racing. We're hoping that these DRS trains are going to be a thing of the past. We're hoping that there's going to be enough power to overtake. It's not just down the straight. We're hoping we're going to get those long DRS trains where there's no real opportunity to have the extra power to overtake or defend. You know, that's what we're hoping for, these new regulations. I think one of the biggest problems with DRS is the DRS trains. You know, because especially towards the end of a regulation cycle, while all cars get really quite so close in pace, it's, you know, you want the driver to be able to have the choice to have that extra power, which they're supposed to be able to have in 26, and it'd be the driver's choice when to deploy that power. And then the defending car, when to deploy that power to defend, and also manage the battery. So will they have the power in those key moments? That's the thing. And that's going to be down to the drivers to manage that battery, to find the key moments when they want to use it. And you're right, the 2026 could be one of the most divisive set of regulations ever. I think the problem with 2026 regulations is that the power unit's going to play such a massive part in the success of the teams. Like, which team's got the best power unit is probably going to be the most competitive team. And at the moment, for our Mercedes is looking like it's going to have a great power unit. Honda's going to bring a great power unit. I think Audi are going to bring a solid power unit. Red Bull and Ford, well, jury's out. Ferrari's jury's out for Melbourne anyway. Will they improve? Yeah, of course, everyone's got a chance to improve. But I think Mercedes is going to bring a pretty solid power unit for 26. And anyone that's running the Mercedes engine, which is Alpine, Williams, Mercedes and McLaren, are going to be at some sort of advantage. And the active aero is going to be cool, because the active aero is basically what DRS does. It's like opens up. But it's not just the active aero I'm quite keen on. I'm actually keen on the reduction of removing the ground effect. You know, so we're going back to some more mechanical grip. So the suspension is going to be more important. You know what I mean? I think the suspension is going to be more important. And I think Newey has said that, how much he's focusing on the suspension. But I'm just so excited about 26, because the first Grand Prix of that season, Melbourne, Australia, we're going to see how everyone's interpreted the regulations, and they're going to be so different. Everyone's going to have a different idea of what they think is going to work. And that's actually what I think is a very cool time in major regulation change. So I am here for it. But as you know, in our preview shows, we need to talk about who we think is going to be the top 5 drivers, who we think is going to be the driver of the weekend, and who we think is going to be the dipstick of the weekend. So now's the time to get your predictions in the chat so I can see what you're saying, because I want to see if anybody agrees with mine, because mine are going to be a little bit left field. Kyle's got his in. Brilliant. Kyle. Oh, so Kyle's going Norris P1, Max Verstappen P2, Charles Leclerc P3. Yeah, the whole Ferrari debacle, Elkin. P4, Oscar Piastri, and P5, George. All right. Driver of the day, Hamilton. Dipstick, Stroll. I know why you said driver of the day, Hamilton, because you think Hamilton's coming to this weekend pissed. And Hamilton drives better when he's pissed with everything that's going on. I like it. Dipstick, Stroll. They're not the same as mine, not all of them. I think people are going to be very surprised I think people are going to be very surprised with my predictions. So I'm going to start off with my P5. Okay. I think P5 is going to be, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, Charles Leclerc. I think he's going to qualify well, actually. I think he'll qualify first 2 rows of the grid. But I think Charles Leclerc is going to finish the Grand Prix P5. He qualified very well last year, didn't he? He was pole, right? Sorry, in 23 he was pole. George was pole last year. 23 was pole. And his qualifying performance has been outstanding. But I think after everything that's gone on at Ferrari in the turmoil this week, I just think that team's a freaking mess. I do. I think it's a mess. So I've gone Leclerc P5. Oh, we had some more predictions. Brilliant. So, Legend, welcome to the chat, my friend. You've gone Leclerc P1 in absolute contradiction to my P5. Hamilton P2, George P3. That's bold. So you think Hamilton's going to get his first podium this season, and you think Leclerc's going to get his first win of the season in the Ferrari. Listen, I'd like to see it happen. I'm here for it if it does, because that would show an incredible reaction to the John Elkins comments and the Ferrari drama that's gone on this week. And you're going George P3. Interesting predictions. Don't forget, Legend, tell me who you think is going to be driver of the weekend and who you think is going to be the dipstick of the weekend. Who's going to have an absolute mare? Right, so I've gone Charles Leclerc, P5. P4, you might be surprised because I don't think any of you have picked him. I am taking into account that this guy has had a massive upturn in performance, right? He's found his groove. Kimi Antonelli has found his groove. His performances have been brilliant over the last couple of Grand Prix. So I think we're going to get a Kimi Antonelli P4 in Vegas. No one's picking him, but that's what I think. I think his last 2 performances, he's done better than George, right? He's been consistent. He's found some pace. And what did I hint at earlier? The temperatures in Vegas are going to be cool and dry. And what is the optimum window for the Mercedes? It's cool, dry conditions. That's literally optimum Mercedes. And when they've done that, when they've had that, Canada is what I'm thinking, George Russell won the race. So Kimi Antonelli, P4. P3, again, I don't know if you're going to agree with this. Lando Norris. I think Lando's going to play it quite safe this weekend. He's got a large points advantage. I don't think actually the McLaren is going to be hugely quick. I really don't in Vegas. I'm not sure it's a track that suits the McLaren. I know that the temperatures are going to suit Mercedes. I know Max Verstappen is going to be competitive. He'll have his car dialed in. But I actually think that the McLaren is going to struggle. And I think Lando Norris is going to play it pretty safe. And I think he'll take a podium. I do. I think he'll take the podium. So I think, Lando Norris, P3. Who have I got down for P2? Max Verstappen. I think Verstappen's going to have a good weekend. I think Verstappen's comments about the fact that the World Drivers' Championships is beyond him now, or the Championship's beyond him, is 49 points behind Lando. McLaren, one thing they do have is reliability. There's 3 races left. It would just take a miracle. And Max Verstappen's been honest about it. But do I think he still wants to go out and try and win the race? Of course he does. Do I think he wants to, Max wants to win every race he's ever in? Do I think they're going to try their absolute best? Of course they do, because they're fighting for P2 in the Constructors. So, of course, he's going to bring some fire. It's a low downforce track. We know that Red Bull and Max like a low downforce setup. So yeah, Max Verstappen is my P2 prediction. Now, this is the one that's going to make everybody go crazy. Yes, DT, we are doing predictions. Get them in. This is the one that you're all going to go crazy about, and I don't know if anyone's going to agree with me. My P1 prediction is George Russell. Right, hear me out. Hear me out. That Mercedes is looking a lot stronger than it has been doing. Vegas, it's a great track for George. 2024, qualified pole, won the race. The car works in cool, dry conditions. We know it's going to be, what, 17, 18 degrees. I think it's optimum conditions for the Mercedes. And I think Mercedes, again, Toto Wolff, has come out and said he wants that P2 spot. He does, just like Ferrari do, just like Red Bull do. And I think this is one of the tracks where the Mercedes is going to be uber competitive. And I think George Russell's going to win this one. I do. I actually do. So yeah, that's what I think. I'm going to go to the chat and see if any of you are in agreement with me. So yeah, DT, get your predictions in. So we're sticking with the top 5 at the minute. So the Wooden says low downforce and a newish engine has to be Max win. I definitely know Max is going to be top 2, but I've gone Max P2. Max P2. So Gemma's gone Max P1. She agrees with the Wooden. George Russell P2. Okay, Lando P3. Oscar P4. Charles P5. So Oscar P3. Charles P4. And Lewis P5. I think they're pretty sturdy predictions then, Gemma. Pretty sturdy. Who else have we got? And Gemma says Dipstick of the weekend Yuki, driver of the weekend Ollie Behrman. Fair. You're talking about George Russell with his Downton Abbey look. Yeah. Okay, Drip has got his predictions in. He's going P1 Max, P2 Norris, P3 Oscar, P4 Leclerc, P5 Kimi Antonelli. Driver of the day, I take it you mean Ollie Behrman. Hey Mark, welcome to the chat. Lovely to have you with us. Nice to see some new faces. You're in the right place. They're a friendly bunch. Great community. Mark says, I think you're correct with the 55% ruling. Wouldn't it be awesome if the Williams scheme could go back to the blue and yellow bowl colour scheme? Exactly. 55% is not enough. I think if we just had going back to the earlier chat, that the colour scheme chat and the livery chat, yeah, I think there should be no carbon fibre unless it's on the tips or on the aero pieces. That's my view. I think the Wooden said it right. It should be 80% or more. I think we may get there, by the way, on the liveries, Mark. I hope we do. I really hope we do, because I am getting bored of the exposed carbon fibre. I truly am. Gemma says that Mercedes think you could be on something with the track. Well, it's not just the track. It does well in Vegas, but it's the temperature. The Mercedes has this little window of optimum performance, and it can't be too hot and it can't be too cold. And Vegas, I think, is going to deliver that optimum performance window for the Mercedes. So DT, he's gone with P1 Lando, P2 Max, P3 Russell, P4 Piastri. Oh, I love it. We've got a new one. We've got a P5 Hadjar. So, driver of the day, Behrman, Dipstick Stroll. If Hadjar got P5, wouldn't he get your driver of the day, DT? Would he not give it him? God, if Hadjar got P5, I'd have to give. I think he'd be in the mix for driver of the day, wouldn't he? It's a good result. Yeah, I agree, Legend. McLaren will struggle in Vegas. That's what I think as well. I don't think... I've not even got Oscar in my top 5. Right? I've not even got Oscar in my top 5. I've got Lando P3. I actually think Oscar will be like P6, because I don't think McLaren's going to be strong there. But it does bring me on to my driver of the weekend prediction. Loads of you have said the same guy, and I know it's boring because I said him for Mexico City, but I was right. It's Ollie Behrman. He's just on fire at the moment, isn't he? I mean, last 2 Grand Prix have been outstanding, absolutely outstanding. And what he's doing with Ocon, yeah, he's on fire. Woo. Yeah, so Ollie Behrman is my driver of the weekend prediction. I think he's going to be on fire yet again, because his performance has just been when you compare him to Esteban Ocon, seasoned pro, not a bad driver, right? Not a bad driver, and he has taken him to school. So I think Ollie Behrman's a great shout, and a lot of you are in agreement. I know DT said Ollie Behrman, Gemma said Ollie Behrman. The Wooden says the only thing that is very low grip circuit, so McLaren could still be up there. So the Wooden's still back. You still think McLaren are going to bring a package? McLaren are always going to bring something strong, right? I just think that Mercedes and Red Bull are going to be stronger in these conditions because, and here's the other thing, because McLaren they're doing zero development on the car, like that, nothing, not even any little mini upgrades, not even any aero bits. They're like a big fat donut. They've not brought any more upgrades to the car. Mercedes will bring some tweaks. Red Bull, no doubt, will have a whole new. They'll have upgrades and updates specifically for that car. 100%. So that's why I think McLaren are just not going to bring any. That's why I think Lando Norris is going to play it safe. He'll be happy. Well, not happy. I think he'll take a P3. I think he'll take a podium. Piastri, I think, he's just off the pace at the moment, and I think Lando Norris has just hit such a rich vein of form. That's why Piastri is not in my top 5. He's not in my top 5. So yeah, I think loads of people are thinking Ollie Behrman. Has anyone got anyone different? Has anyone got any different from Ollie Behrman as driver of the weekend? I think we're all in agreement. Driver of the weekend is going to be Ollie Behrman. So it brings me to Dipstick. Now, I know all of you, and shame on you, always going for Lance Stroll as Dipstick of the weekend. I know this is a regular one for me as well, but I think the sacrificial lamb over at Red Bull. I do not think this is a Yuki Tsunoda circuit. Not that any of them have really been Yuki Tsunoda circuits. Do I think he's going to struggle? Yeah, I do. Do I think that they're going to be literally sacrificing Yuki's entire weekend to try and help Max get the optimum set up? Yep. Yes, I do. So I think Yuki is going to have a mare. I do. I think I feel for Yuki because I think Yuki knows the writing's on the wall. And I think Liam Lawson and him are fighting it out for this Racing Bulls seat for 2026. And I think the decision's probably already made. Helmut Marko probably knows. And I think Liam Lawson's getting the shitty end of the stick here because he's still putting in strong performances. He's a rookie. He's got loads of growth. Yes, he's tempestuous and he's got maybe some sort of attitude at times. But do I think he's got room to grow? Yeah, I do. Do I think he's shown mental resilience this year? Yes, I do. To get dropped from the Red Bull and then back in the Racing Bulls and to be competitive with Hadjar and beat Hadjar. We should do a head-to-head on Lawson and Hadjar, and I think we'll be surprised how close they've actually been. Liam Lawson currently sits on 36 points. Hadjar is on 40 points. No, sorry, Liam. Yeah, that's right. There's only 4 points between them. It's closer than you think, and Hadjar was supposed to be Rookie of the Season, right? So, yeah, I think Liam Lawson's earned his place, and I think the team know it. I think Yuki probably knows it, but Yuki still needs to play the team game, right? And the problem with that is for Yuki is he can't play the selfish game and try and put in some sort of outstanding selfish performance on a Grand Prix race weekend because he has to do as he's told. He's there to support Max. And if Max wants him to, if the team want him to run a shit setup to test something out for Max in FP1, FP2, qualifying, whatever, he's going to get the shitty end of the stick. And it also means if they need Yuki to stay out on track when his tyres are gone because he's got track position to help block for Max, he's going to do it. So I think Yuki's window of trying to showcase something exceptional to try and keep him his drive is not there. And I'm going to get the chat. Kyle says, I think the Dart Lord knows. I think he does. Yeah, the Dart Lord Helmut Marko knows. And Yuki's going to be out. And they just don't want him to upset Honda during the final weeks of the team. I agree. I think it's political. And there's nowhere for Yuki to go now. Even the reserve seats are basically decided for 26. And I think it's bye-bye Yuki. And as much as I hate to see people lose the drive, I think it's good for the sport to allow rookies to come through. And if that rookie is his saving grace, I'll tell you, Yuki's last bite at the cherry is if, for whatever reason, that they decide not to promote Arvid Lindblad from the F2 team. But when we saw Lindblad in that Red Bull during free practice, he was impressive, wasn't he? He was really impressive. So I think they're going to promote him. I think the deal's done. I think the deal's done. Yeah, I do think the deal's done. So yeah. Anyway, so Yuki, unfortunately for Yuki, is my dipstick of the weekend prediction. Let me get to the chat. The Wooden says Lawson get the chop soon too. Could have ruined him, to be fair. Yeah, oh yeah, he got the chop too soon in the Red Bull. I agree. He had a couple of races. That was it. And it could have ruined him. And it shows great mental strength. And every F1 driver they grow through adversity. Liam Lawson's shown that he can. I don't think he's the most popular guy on the grid, to be honest. You can tell he's got that little bit about him where he probably rubs people up the wrong way. He's probably a little bit outspoken. He's probably a little bit aggressive. But again, who wasn't? Right? Which name an F1 driver, a successful F driver that wasn't like that? Michael Schumacher, Ayrton Senna, right? They're all a bit like that. Even Mika Hakkinen, they all had it in them. They all had it in them. The Wooden says Yuki doesn't even run a comparable setup to Max. I think it's all over. Exactly. He's the sacrificial lamb, so I do feel for him, but I do think he's going to end up being the dipstick of the weekend because Red Bull will sacrifice his weekend to try and help Max. Hypercars for Yuki. You know what? If I was Yuki, I'd be happy with any. Listen, if I get a drive in a decent series and I can be competitive there, then everyone finds their level, right? Everyone finds their level. Daily Focus says in the student champs, it's going to be exciting. I sit in chat and sit. Oh, so you're in the sim racing student championships. That's what you're talking about, Daily Focus. Congratulations, buddy. I hope that goes really well for you. DT. Who is voting for that Sauber livery? Hang on, and let me give you a poll update on the livery. Someone's voting for Sauber. What? Right, let me give you a quick update. Alpine livery 12%, Sauber livery 6%, Racing Bulls livery 44%, and Williams 38%. Do you need reminding of the liveries? Like, look, the liveries you're voting on, the liveries that you're voting on. Have a look. It's the Alpine livery, which honestly, spot the difference. A little bit of pink on the side pod, right? The Sauber livery, spot the difference. Yeah, a little bit of checkered flag on it. Come on. And now you're getting into the real contenders. Look at that. That's holographic. That's cool. Holographic Racing Bulls. That's very cool. And then, of course, you've got my favourite, which is the Williams livery, which is super cool. You can't see it there, but you've got that speckled, almost like rainbow colours down the side, which are going to glisten under lights. You've got the blue pinstripe, the satin black, the Duracell gold around the air intake. It's freaking cool. Come on. I can't believe my favourite's losing. But yeah, that's what you're voting on, guys, for the poll. Which is your favourite livery? You need to vote on the poll. Yeah, so Gemma says... Oh, so Gemma's congratulating Daily Focus on his student championship. Yeah, I'm rooting for you, bro. I hope that goes really well. Sema, you're with us. What time is it in Australia? Nice to have you in the chat, Sema. Always a pleasure that you always manage to make it in. It must be super early for you. And you're going with the Williams. Yeah, that's my favourite. But I am looking forward to seeing the Racing Bulls going down the Vegas Strip. Here's the thing. Maybe the Racing Bulls livery, the V-Carb, is more Vegas. It's more glitzy, isn't it? It's more the sparkling sequin dress, right? 7 a.m. Sema. 7 a.m. for you. Thank you so much for clicking us on. I really do appreciate it. It's not too early. Well, Sema, don't forget, I'm going to be doing the live streams, the watch-alongs for the Vegas Grand Prix. throughout every session. Free practice 1, 2, and 3, qualifying and the race. It's 4 a.m. for me, a far more reasonable time for you. Make sure you're watching with the watch-alongs with us. That'll be very, very cool. And you're right, DT, the V-carb is super Vegas. It reminds me of, like, you know when people, like, they go, you put your sparkliest outfit on for Vegas. You can't get more sparkly than the V-carb livery. It's going to be something. It is going to be something. So yeah. So those are my predictions. I've got Leclerc P5, Kimi Antonelli P4, Lando Norris P3, Max Verstappen P2, and I know a lot of people might. But I'm going with it. I'm putting my faith in George Russell for P1, and I think it's going to be a great weekend for McLaren. Ferrari, I think it's not going to be a great weekend. I think P6 maybe Lewis Hamilton, but that's not part of it. Dipstick of the weekend, Yuki Tsunoda. Driver of the weekend, Ollie Behrman. We agree on quite a few of these. Nobody else, by the way, I've noticed, agrees with me on George Russell P1. Nobody agrees with me on that. Let's see. Let's see if let's see. I'm really looking forward to seeing who's got it right. Who's got it right? Lygen, I couldn't agree more. If Leclerc or Hamilton does good, it'll be a good slapback. I agree. And listen, I think Leclerc and Hamilton are going to come out fighting. I don't think they're the problem though. I think the problem I can see it with Ferrari is, I think Ferrari is still going to be a mess. The team is so like fractioned, camps here, camps there. Elkan's comments will have just added. It's like literally pouring fuel onto the fire into that racing team. I don't think it's helped. And I don't know if you saw the stream earlier this week, or was it yesterday, when I was saying that Leclerc came out and said all this positive stuff. Hamilton come out and say a dicky bird. He wasn't going to come out and say, yeah, the team's performed well this season with the improvement, because it isn't true. Because it's coming out of Leclerc's mouth when earlier in the season, up until even in Sao Paulo, he was saying the car's crap, right? But now because of all this PR nightmare, they made him come out and say something positive, which I just don't think they could get Lewis Hamilton to say. And he didn't. So, yeah, I think the drama's going to continue. I think the media day is going to be very telling in Vegas. I think the Ferrari drama is going to come back over the weekend. And you know, it's going to be a constant theme. What's your reaction to Elkan's comments? All of that. Fred Vasseur's going to get it. Leclerc's going to get it. Hamilton's going to get it. And I just don't think that Ferrari's going to be any good there. But let's see. That's what I love. That's what I love about this community. It's all about opinion. We validate our opinion, we discuss it, and then, you know, the outcome's going to be the outcome. And that's what's so great about this community. So I'm going to come to listen, I'm going to wrap this poll up now and give the results. I'm going to give the results. Can you see it? So these are the results. Racing Bulls V-Carb is your winner with 47% of the vote. Williams with 35% of the vote. Alpine 12% of the vote. I couldn't even tell the difference. A little bit of pink on the side. Sauber. If you voted for that Sauber livery, you need to take yourself off and have a strong word with yourself, right? As the best livery, you do. You need to have you need to write yourself a strongly worded email, because that Sauber livery, oh come on, it was not it, or Alpine, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the Williams and the Racing Bulls on track in Vegas. So, quick reminder. If you haven't already and you're watching the stream, you've enjoyed it, please do me a massive favour. It makes such a big difference to the success of the channel. Smash a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Do hit the notification bell so you can keep up to date with all of the content. When it's breaking news and videos come out, you get notified. Obviously, you get notified about the live streams and all the watch-alongs, which you can watch along with me, where we have live timings, the track, commentary, all of that for every Grand Prix, so we can watch it together. So yeah, please do keep supporting the channel. We're growing at a really great rate at the minute, and honestly, I'm so grateful to every single one of you. Thank you so much. And yeah, we got to finish it off with one last look at one last reminder Oh, not that one. That's not the one. The glitz and glamour. Las Vegas, baby, this weekend. But I will be back tomorrow night with your daily F1 news. Oh, and I've got a very cool breaking news for you, which will be coming out. So you make sure you've got your notification bell on. I'm working on the story tonight. It might be out tonight or tomorrow morning, but make sure you are watching for that. Gemma says, what do you think will go down with the Ferrari drivers on press day, Tony? Just as I'm finishing the show, you asked that massive question. I tell you what I think is going to go down. I think they're gonna have a PR answer, Gemma. They'll have a PR answer for press day. And it'll be something along the lines of, as a team, we're going to keep fighting. John was, if they mention John, it's like John and everyone at the team just want to work together and build a great car for 26, work together and have a great weekend. And it'll be something like that. That's what I think it'll be. It'll be PR offensive. That's what it'll be. Brand PR. And maybe, just maybe, if Hamilton has a crap weekend, we may get some truth from Hamilton, right? Or Hamilton may even just refuse to comment. Yeah. The Wooden says, being in the US, they'll plead the fifth. Yeah, absolutely. They'll take the fifth. Yeah, 100%. Just avoid the question. I tell you what they will have, though. I bet you any money you will not see either driver, Leclerc or Hamilton, without a PR person stood 6 inches away from them, controlling the narrative. That's what I think. That is what I think. But I'm here for it, though. Let's find out, because everyone's going to ask the questions, right? Everyone's going to ask. Vegas is going to be so much fun, apart from my 4 o'clock in the morning streams, but I'll still make them fun. But yeah, it is going to be so much fun. There's so much to get into. We need answers to these questions. So yeah, join me tomorrow. Look out for a breaking news story. I think you're going to find it a good one. And join me tomorrow night at 7:30 for Daily F1 News, and we're going to get into it again. So I hope you've enjoyed the stream. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I appreciate it so much. And I will see you all tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your